Welcome to 101. I'm Greg Bassett, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. One of my favorite people is in the house today, Bonnie Luna. Welcome, Bonnie.
Good morning, Greg.
Now, last year you disappointed all of us. We were crying because there was going to be no more Gift of the Magi concert at Y-High. You were ending it after a big, long run. But you've got a new event this year.
We do have a new event.
We have a whole new reason to live.
Absolutely.
What is your new event?
It's called A Magical Christmas, like Magi, a
Right.
Magical Christmas.
Right.
Sunday, December the 8th, Bennett High School Auditorium.
It's at Bennett this time instead of
It's
Y-High.
at Bennett.
Okay.
It's at Bennett. It's only one show on Sunday, December the 8th. It's an exciting program. And I have to tell you, Greg, that this was inspired by God. It was absolutely not on our radar when we brought the Magi Choral Festival to an end last year, although we tried to make it clear when we were ending the Choral Festival last year that the Magi Fund was not going away.
Right.
It was just that the Choral Festival, at the end of 25 years, we really felt that God had given us a clear signal to bring it to an end.
Right.
And we felt then that God had something else in mind for us and that He would give us the inspiration and the guidance. And so we ended the Magi Choral Festival last year, started praying diligently, didn't realize at the time that the Christian Shelter and the Joseph House Center folks were praying along with us, that God would really give us a vision for another event, an opportunity to raise funds for Joseph House and Christian Shelter. And it came like a flash. It really did.
Well, you guys were good at this. The Magi event was a success. It wasn't waning at all. It was still very strong.
It was, but you know, when you get that check in your spirit that it's okay, 25 years is a long time to have a very same or similar program going on. And we knew that God had something else in mind for us, and we just had to be faithful, waiting for Him to give us a green light and some inspiration. It came, and we are so excited. This is just an exciting event that we're going to have here in Salisbury on Sunday, December the 8th. Michael Faircloth, pianist for National Christian Choir.
Who even I've heard of.
Yes, but you know, Michael is much bigger than just the National Christian
Right.
Choir. He is pretty renowned all over the country. And God just spoke it into our hearts that we should speak with Michael Faircloth about doing a concert because, Greg, when we had the Magi Choral Festivals, every year we would only allow Michael the opportunity to play the piano as a solo piece of the program,
Right.
just one song.
Right.
And without a doubt, when Michael would end, there would be a standing ovation.
All the time. And it was one of the ones I would look forward to it. And like if
Yes.
it was later in the show, I would be like, is he going to play or not?
Yes, absolutely. And so the audience loved Michael, but only got to really appreciate his abilities on that one song. And we just knew that God was saying, bring Michael back. And then last year, we were really privileged to have Daniel Bowen and Symphony 21 come and be part of our Magi Choral Festival, our final Magi Choral Festival. And again, we just felt like Daniel had such a small portion of the program last year and has such tremendous talent, had brought in an incredibly gifted group of musicians.
Right.
And by the way, Symphony 21, for those who may not be familiar with them, is a contemporary orchestra.
Right.
They are fantastic.
A very different flavor for that.
Well, they do things that are just beyond what you expect to find in a setting with an orchestra. Anyway, Daniel Bowen participated in the Choral Festival last year. The audience was wowed.
Yeah.
I mean, he is really a spectacular musician, and what he does with his orchestra is phenomenal. And so again, we just got that clear understanding from the Lord. Michael Faircloth, Daniel Bowen, Symphony 21, and called both of them on the same day. They said, yes, if we can find a date. And we said, okay, well, let's look at the calendar. In 48 hours,
Wow.
we had the date, Daniel Bowen, Michael Faircloth, and they were so enthusiastic and excited about coming to Salisbury and performing together. And then along with Michael, he said he had a vocalist that worked with him often with Christmas concerts, and we would like to have a vocalist, and we said absolutely. So Diane Sussig, who is also a very well-known vocalist, has traveled all over the country, well-known. Diane will be joining Michael and Daniel. So the three of them have been working diligently to put together a program, Christmas program, that we're absolutely certain that is going to just blow us away. People have been telling me and all of our committee ever since last November that the Magi Choral Festival,
Right.
and now we'll call it our Magical Christmas, really set the tone for their holiday. It makes all the difference for these individuals to come out and have this opportunity to be part of something bigger than just being entertained. They know that they're buying a ticket, but that ticket purchase is really going to benefit the Joseph House Center and the Christian Shelter. So we're giving back to the community again what they so desperately begged us for, and that was another Christmas concert, something that would really put them in the mood for the holiday, get their minds directed correctly, everything in the right
Gets a
perspective.
Christmas spirit in you, yeah.
Yes, and so we're really excited. No doubt this is going to be different, very different, in that it will not only just be musical hearing, but there will be a lot of visuals as well. Daniel Bowen, Symphony 21, do a lot of visuals along with their music presentations, and so it will be a blessing for all of us, and we're excited. Plus the fact that in doing this, we get to continue our fundraising for Joseph House and Christian Shelter, and the response has been tremendous. We're just praying that God will fill every one of those seats at Bennett High School Auditorium on December the 8th, and help us fill the coffers of Joseph House Center and Christian Shelter, meet their needs, plus the fact that not only do we ask people to buy a ticket, we ask them to bring a canned good,
Right.
which is collected at the concert by the Boy Scouts, and then those canned goods are divided between the two organizations, and they take those home, and that's what they use to fill their pantries to prepare for the holiday season and the winter.
Well, see, I knew you couldn't get away with not having a Christmas show because people were so upset last year. Like, what? Like they came to rely on it. But the Christian choir was great, but it was just so overwhelming because it was just so big. And I think this is going to be a much more intimate show. It's going to be like a different experience, and I think it's timely.
It is going to be very intimate. Folks that haven't been in the Bennett High School Auditorium, it's beautifully renovated.
Right.
It's a lovely, and I'm going to call it a concert hall.
Right, it is.
So it'll be a wonderful venue for this presentation. It's the perfect venue. And I would just tell you that when Daniel Bowen and I went over to Bennett to look at the auditorium, we walked in and said, wow, this is it. This is exactly where we're supposed to be on December the 8th. And so, yeah, we're really excited. And let me just say that National Christian Choir and the Magi Fund are still partners. And even though they're not with us this year, that doesn't mean that we're finished.
Right.
just a little hint, there's more to come.
No, but people really got used to this, and change is hard on people.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Greg, that the National Christian Choir, those 150 plus individuals,
Overwhelming, yes.
love Salisbury, Maryland. Yeah. They have adopted it as their second home, and they look forward to coming over here. Matter of fact, I've heard from many of them. They will be at this concert on December the 8th. Yes, I'm filling ticket orders now, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is a National Christian Choir member. So yes, they are buying tickets and coming to the concert.
Yeah, they would come to Salisbury, they'd stay over, they'd worship here. They were very involved in the community.
Yes, they shopped. They loved going out into Salisbury and shopping and the restaurants. So it was I think it was probably a very good economic benefit to the community.
Right.
When the weekends that we had the Choral Festival, because we had lots of people. We have a huge following in Delaware. Probably 25 to 30% of our audience is from Lower Delaware. But we have people that travel from all over the state to come
Right.
to the choral festivals, and with Michael and Daniel, this year, same thing. We're getting tickets from.
They're going to bring a crowd.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're bringing individuals from all over the area.
You're doing this to benefit the two nonprofits in the community that are completely unassailable in terms of their mission, Joseph House Christian Shelter. Tell us about Joseph House for people who might not know about it.
Well, Joseph House is a crisis intervention ministry run by the Little Sisters of Jesus and Mary. Only about 7, I believe right now there are 7 nuns that run this charity, do a tremendous work. They meet the needs of the poor in the community, no matter what the need is. They do their best to meet that need.
And based on my interaction with them, I want to call the Pope every day and say these women all deserve to be saints right
Yes,
now.
Absolutely.
I mean, if
Yes,
you've never met a human saint, these women are that.
Yes. I've never seen more giving, caring individuals in my
Unbelievable.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
They give of themselves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And Greg, they have a great emphasis on keeping people from becoming homeless, where Christian Shelter is the place where individuals tend to go when they become homeless.
Right.
Joseph House Center is working diligently to help people avoid homelessness. And
Keep
often,
them just above that horrible line.
right, their resources are limited. They can't meet every financial need, but they do their best. When someone comes to them, they have a utility bill that is past due and their utilities are about to be disconnected. They will work with the utility companies. They don't just hand out money. They work with the utility company to keep those utilities from being disconnected. Oftentimes, it's working with the landlord. Individuals become delinquent in their rent. They're given eviction notices, and they're about to end up on the streets. And Joseph House Center will intervene. They will work with the landlords. They will help that individual catch up with their rent and keep them in those homes. But beyond that, they run a hospitality center for the homeless here in the community. People can go get a hot meal, get a shower, wash their clothes. So Joseph House Center has a ministry that is quite expansive. They run a food pantry where individuals can go, I believe it's twice a week, to go to get groceries. A few years before Sister Mary Elizabeth Getling died, who was the founder of Joseph House Center.
Who is a saint? There's no doubt about it. She's got to have a
yes.
miracle in there somewhere.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Sister Mary Elizabeth's dream came true because she was able to begin a ministry which is called Joseph's Workshop. And that workshop houses homeless men. But it's more than just housing homeless individuals. They take an individual off the street and they begin to work with him to change his life. And he is given education, training. They help him prepare for job training. It's anywhere from a year to 18-month program where these individuals' lives are transformed. It is one of the most phenomenal programs. Not everybody that comes in stays.
Yeah.
Some will actually drop out because it is a pretty intense program.
Sister Mary Elizabeth made it a tough love thing. I
Yes,
mean, she was tough.
Yes, but the individuals that have stayed in the program, Greg, there are some of the most exciting testimonies. To go over to Joseph's Workshop, meet some of those individuals. Many of them come back and work, helping others once they've graduated. but they've gone out, they've gotten jobs, they've been reunited with families. They've learned social skills and work skills that help them become really productive citizens. And that's what it's really all about, is becoming a productive citizen. So, you know, how can we even begin to put a price tag on the work that the Joseph House Center does, because it's so expansive. They help people get to doctor's appointments. They help people with medicines, whatever the need is.
Right.
When you come in with a need, it's really taken seriously, and they will do whatever they can within their abilities to help meet that need.
And they need money, but sometimes they'll just identify things that they need, like coats or socks or blankets, and they'll encourage donations to that. So it's not all about just give us cash. There's, you know, other ways that people can help.
Yes, I believe right now that they will be doing a coat drive for the winter, preparing to give individuals on the street a warm coat, hats, gloves, and then of course their food ministry, toy ministry to the children at Christmas time.
I remember I was a young reporter and covering the county council, and Sister Mary Elizabeth came to town, and they were going to open the Joseph House. And I remember Mr. Henry Parker was the council president, and the council sat there and they were like, "Well, you can open this thing if you want, but there's really no need in our community. We got everything covered just fine." And they opened Joseph House, and the first day there was a line around the block. I mean, she saw a need that no one in authority here could see.
Yes.
It was just amazing, and they're still with us, whatever it is, 35, 40 years later now.
Yes, that woman truly had a love for all people, but particularly the needy. That supersedes anybody else I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
And then we have Christian Shelter.
Which is another, just an amazing group.
Yes.
Tell us about Christian Shelter.
Christian Shelter is turning 40 this
Really?
year. It's amazing.
Wow.
And that was founded by David and Joanne Greer,
Right.
and Bob Marshall, and a couple other committed Christian men and women in the community, as I said, 40 years ago. And when it first opened, it was it was only a house over on Boundary Street, and they really focused on homeless men and homeless women. And then over the years that began to expand to homeless women with children. And today, Greg, their biggest ministry is to families, homeless families. And so they have expanded their facility. God bless them with what was an old shirt factory.
Right.
So that little house on Boundary Street was next door to this shirt factory that had closed down, that was, I believe, donated to them. And the community, many businesses in the community came alongside Christian Shelter. They renovated that building and turned it into the homeless shelter. And today they house homeless men, homeless women, women with children, and as I said, the biggest ministry now is to families. They're always at capacity. They have a really, I'm not sure what the word is best, but a committed ministry there where, again, they don't just take an individual off the street and give them a bed to sleep in and a meal, a couple meals a day. They really began to work with the individuals to change their lives. Yes,
Yeah.
program, thank you.
Yeah.
And they work with social services to help these individuals find housing. They work in the business community to help them find jobs. So it is a really a program that, again, works to transform lives, to give them some hope and a real interest in a different future. So again, it's an amazing program. They work with a skeleton crew and then depend on volunteers, as does the Joseph House.
Right.
Both of these ministries, they're such small, committed group of individuals that run the programs. Of course, Joseph House, those nuns, they don't take salaries, and at Christian Shelter, the individuals that work there really work for such a small amount of money, and the rest of it is just what they give of themselves. But every penny that the Magi Fund can raise goes to help these two organizations. And Greg, I think it's important that we say 100% of every dollar we raise goes to the two charities, because the Magi Fund is an all-volunteer organization. We don't have an office. We don't have a staff. We all
It's done on your dining room table,
It
Bonnie.
is, yeah,
Go ahead
it
and
is.
tell people it's done on your dining room table.
It used to be done on Virginia Layfield's table. Now it's my table. Yes, so we just volunteer and do all the work that needs to be done in order to do the fundraising. And the only thing that the Magi exists for is to fundraise for these two organizations. And as I said, 100% of everything we bring in goes to the benefit of those two charities, split 50-50 down the middle. And then, of course, we've established an endowment. We take 10% of each of them, a tithe from each of their shares, and we've put it in the community foundation. And that endowment, which is well over $600,000
That's tremendous.
now, is paying out a decent return, so
Right.
that whatever the endowment pays out then again is shared between the two
Right.
charities. And so again, that is a wonderful thing to have, and it will be paying out monies to them in perpetuity, so it doesn't come to an end.
Of the dozens of young newspaper reporters I've hired in my time, occasionally someone would come to me and they would say, it's my first time, this is not my hometown, I want to learn all I can, what can you help me do other than just go out and cover stories? And I would say, go work a shift at Joseph House. Go over there and see what it's like in the community. And the ones who took me up on that, like when they would leave town to go get bigger jobs, they would always thank me for telling them that, for giving them the opportunity, because it was really transformative for them in terms of their development as a person.
Yes.
It's just amazing the impact that it can have to actually interact and to see what people are up against.
And it's a great thing, Greg, for people to interact with these individuals who have fallen onto hard times. They're no different than you and me. They just have, unfortunately, not had the opportunity or the privileges that we have, and they have the same needs we have. They have the same feelings we have, and so to be able to interact with individuals who are in those situations and realize what dear, sweet individuals they are, how similar we are, and how much we all desire the same things in life, it really gives you a different perspective. Everybody should have that opportunity to volunteer at Joseph House or Christian Shelter. You'll change your mind very quickly about the individuals in the community that need our help. And that's what we're all about, helping.
So when I come to the concert this year, what can I expect?
Well, you can expect to be really blessed by the musicians that are going to be there with us. As we've already talked about, Michael Faircloth, renowned pianist. Oh my goodness, he will fill that concert hall with such beautiful sounds from that piano. Diane Sussick, the vocalist, again, well known across the country. And then our very own local Daniel Bowen and the Symphony 21 Orchestra, with lots of different takes on the orchestral music. We're going to be at the Bennett High School Auditorium on Sunday, December the 8th at 2 o'clock. It's a one show only. So this is
Yeah,
really,
that's a change. Yeah.
Yes. Well, again, it had to do with the availability
Right.
of everybody and everything. But we will be at Bennett High School. That's on College Avenue here in Salisbury.
And that building's all renovated.
Oh my goodness, it's beautiful,
Yeah.
yes. And then of course tickets, everybody will need a ticket to attend the concert. They can get tickets at any of the branches of First Shore Federal Savings and Loan, and those branches are across the area.
They're everywhere.
Lower Delaware,
Even Millsboro now, yeah.
yes, down in Pocomoke, Snow Hill, Berlin, Ocean Pines, and of course here in Salisbury, Mount Herman, and downtown at their home branch on Division Street. And the Country House here in Salisbury on East Main Street have tickets. I understand ticket sales are going really well out in the outlets.
They're such great supporters there.
Yes, we're really blessed. And if someone is out of the area, need a ticket, they can just call me. I run a little ticket outlet off the kitchen table. And the phone number is 410-749-0700. 1633. They can call. I can send them out a ticket order form or make arrangements for people just to pick up their tickets on the day of the event at the will call window. We can hold tickets for individuals from outside the area that want to come in and get those and don't want to take the chance of going through the mail.
Yeah, Mike Delano at Country House has been so supportive and so helpful for you. Marty Neat at the bank, First Shore Federal. Just great people to have on your side, Bonnie.
Yes, we are really blessed. And Greg, we've talked about the fact that 100% of everything we raise goes to the two charities. The only way we can do that is because we have some phenomenal corporate sponsors who sponsor the program. They cover the costs of whatever costs we have to put on the performance. Those are covered by our corporate sponsors and our advertisers. The community is so generous with us with our advertising in our program. We have a spectacular program that we put together for the concert. So people get to advertise them. We really encourage people to take those programs home with them.
That's right, you get a little program book, right?
Oh,
yes.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
your supporters are in there. It's tremendous. It's a nice little
our
thing.
advertisers, and
Yeah.
we ask people to take that home, save it, and when you have a need, look in that program book and
Right.
call whoever would meet your need. That's advertising with the Magi Fund.
Well, December 8th, we're excited, Bonnie.
We're excited.
I can't wait to see what you're going to do next year. But we'll get through this year first.
We will. But we're already planning for next year. We already know that God has a plan for us, and we're faithfully moving in that direction. So it's really exciting. Greg, we are so grateful that you are willing to let us come on your
You're
program.
the highlight of my year.
And talk about what God is doing, what God is doing with the Magi Fund, what the Magi Fund is doing to benefit Joseph House Center and Christian Shelter. Let people know that buying a ticket and attending this concert is not just a matter of being entertained for the holiday season. It is making an investment in the life of some individual that's out on the street or some family that's at the Christian Shelter. It is making a difference in our community as we serve those that have needs beyond what they're capable of handling. And what we love to say is that the Magi Fund is doing the most for those with the least.
She's Bonnie Luna. She's making our community better. Bonnie, thanks for everything you do.
Thank you for being here. It's my privilege.
I'm Greg Bassett from the Salisbury Independent Newspaper. Another edition of 101 right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and one-on-one. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.